Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Thanks for tuning in. For this dive I decided to go spearfishing and try and get some greenling. Ended up working out pretty good in my favor, so I was pretty happy about that. First things first, just gotta get in and check the viz. Right as I was loading my spear gun, the sea lion kind of bombarded me. So I didn't have that part on camera, but I did get him a little bit here. Came about 10 feet from us, I'd say, and kind of just left us alone for the rest of the time. I was stoked about the viz today. I'd gone the day before and viz was probably like 8 feet, and today it was 20, so it just shows you how much it can change in even just a single day. Must have been my second dive and I found this greenling. Got a nice holding shot on this guy. He wasn't going anywhere. Obviously love to stone him, but not going to stone every single fish. This might be a bit gory to you guys, but I really want to enforce the importance of braining and bleeding your fish that you catch, whether it's line fishing or spear fishing. Line fishing, you can either bonk it in the head and then cut its gills, or spear fishing, you usually stab it in its brain and then cut its gills. This process is called Icky Jimmy, and if you go to ickijimmy.com, you can actually select your region and the fish species that you're targeting, and it'll show you the spike point or where to put your knife in the fish's head to instantly kill it. But what that's going to do is firstly, obviously kill the fish quick. You don't want it to suffer. That's not right. It's more ethical. And then with the bleeding it too, that also helps keep the meat a lot cleaner. It takes out most of the blood from the meat, so you're not going to get such a fishy taste. And it's just more worth it to do that in the long run. Fish will keep for longer and it's going to taste a lot better. And here we go again. I just noticed this little head poking around the rock. It wasn't a very big greenling, but I had a nice shot on it. And boom, stoned him. Easy shot, instantly dead. That's the way I like to try and do it. I noticed my gun is shooting a little bit high, so I'm sure I had a bit of a bent shaft. And only a few dives later, here's my third and final greenling. You're allowed 3 per day, and I usually don't take my limit, but today I decided I was going to. I had our baby shower coming up for little Flora, so I figured that would make a ceviche for everyone. Unfortunately, with this one, my spear shaft got stuck under a rock and it was quite stuck. Luckily, with the reel gun I'm using, the rubbers didn't get tangled in the shooting line, so I was able to loosen the drag and swim up with my spear gun. That way, I could hold on to it and then dive down later. That's just one benefit of a reel gun, but sometimes the rubbers will get stuck in the shooting line, and then you're kind of hooped and have to leave your gun down there. Hopefully you're able to find it again. And it was really stuck in there. I probably should have had a longer surface interval between when I shot the fish and when I went back down again. Again, brain and bleed. I also gut my fish around here because I'm not worried about sharks coming in. It also feels a bit more natural to give all those kind of guts and stuff back into the ocean for other sea creatures to eat. Well, if the shaft wasn't bent before, it definitely is now. So I got my 3 greenling. I was happy with that. Nothing else I was gonna shoot. Plus that old bent banana shaft wasn't gonna help me out anymore. So it was time to get some urchin. We were doing a late Easter dinner, so I wanted to make a seafood dip and use some uni. I tried to get a recording of this abalone shaking. Sometimes when there's something on top of them, then they'll actually do like a fast shake side to side. It just looks like they're dancing. It's pretty funny, but he stopped, of course, when I went to dive and check him out. There's so many around this area, it definitely wasn't going to be a challenge. Things were going fine until all the urchins fell off Trev's float, and we had to dive down and get them again. So unfortunately, I must have hit go and stop on my GoPro in the wrong places, but what I'm doing here, in order to process them, I'm getting Trev to help me. I split them in half first, and then you'll see kind of greeny brown sacks inside the middle of them. I take those out, just throw it in the ocean. Little brown balls will come out of them. It looks pretty interesting, but also pretty gross. And then that orange stuff, that's the part that you eat. So I'm gonna scoop all that out, and then I'm gonna put it in a Ziploc bag, throw the rest of it back in the ocean. I've brought it home before and done it, but honestly it's so much easier just to do it at the beach if you can. Way less waste around your house. Unless you have a garden or something you could put it in. Not the most appetizing looking thing. I don't know who the first person to break one of those open and decide to eat it was, but it must have been a life or death situation. In this area, you're allowed 12 sea urchins each. We didn't get close to that, but that's okay. I still had enough to make a little dip. And if you haven't tried sea urchin, I highly recommend you give it a go. It might look a bit off-putting, but it tastes pretty good. Kind of buttery flavor and a creamy texture to it. And according to Google, it's rich in nutrients, omega-3 fatty acids, it has antioxidants, low in calories, and some collagen, as well as its health benefits. If we eat enough of it, we might even be able to see some kelp beds come back. Alright, welcome to the kitchen. First things first, to make this dip, I did butter. Then you chop up some onions, toss those bad boys in there, let them caramelize a little bit. Then I add some garlic. And then right after the garlic, I added the urchin. I know, pretty gross looking, isn't it? But that's going to thicken up really fast, so I added a bit of cream. And then luckily my mom actually had canned some Dungeness crab, so I added some of that to it as well. A bit of cream cheese. I shredded some cheese on top, put it in a little oven safe dish and broiled it. And there we go. Right on, guys. Thanks for watching that one. It was definitely a fun day to get out there. Glad I got some fish, and yeah, just all around good viz, considering the day before was completely different. It's wild. Glad I got to go over a bit of the reason why you want to kill your fish instantly. That's really important. Everyone seemed to love the dip that I made. I didn't tell them that there was sea urchin in it until they had already eaten it, and they were kind of just meh about it. That's the only thing that I've done with it so far other than eating it raw, so I like to learn a bit more. Thanks for all the love on my last video. Seems to be the most popular so far, so I don't know if people like spearfishing more or just the way I edited it, or maybe it was even just a thumbnail. I don't know, but thanks for watching again, guys. I really appreciate it, and just frickin' give her.